In this video, we're going to review how to find slope of a linear line. So here we have two graphs, and we're going to try to find the slope of each of the lines. Now, a quick review, slope is rise over run, which means the rise is going to be the change in my y values, which is my y2 minus y1, divided by the change in my x values, which is the run, x2 minus x1. Now the m is just our slope, because remember in slope-intercept form, we have y equals mx plus b. So m, when they're talking about m, that's referring to our slope-intercept form. Or you'd have the m in slope-intercept form, with our m being our slope. Now remember, when you're doing rise over run, you're going from left to right when you're doing this. Okay, so a quick way to remember, should it be positive or negative, is the Mr. Slope guy. So if this is my Mr. Slope guy, when it goes up from left to right, it's positive. When it goes down from left to right, it's negative. When you have a vertical line, it's undefined. And then when we have a horizontal line, so we have a horizontal line, the slopes are 0. So use that to help us determine the slope as well. So we're going to use, I'll show you two different ways using the rise over run when you're given the graph. So the rise over run, so from left to right. So I go up 1, to the right 1, 2, 3. So my rise is 1, my run is 3. Since it's going up from left to right, I have a positive 1/3 slope. Now, if I was going to be using the formula y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1, I would say this would be my x2, y2. This is my x1, y1. Now, it doesn't matter which order pair you use as your ones or twos, just as long as you use the correct coordinates in the formula. So if I use the formula now, y2, 1, minus y1, 0, divided by x2, 3, minus x1, 0. That will still give me 1/3. Now this other example, if I do just the rise over run from left to right, I'm going down 1, 2, 3, and then my run is 1, it's actually just 1. So now I would have a slope of -3 because this is going down from left to right. Now if I were to use the slope-intercept form, this would be x1, y1, x2, y2. So I would have -2 minus 1 divided by my x2, 1, minus 0, which will give us a -3 over 1, which still gives us a -3. Next, we can use the slope of a linear function to solve for one of the coordinates of a point that is on the line. To find the value of r so that the line passes through each pair of points with the given slope. So we have a point here and we have a point here, and they tell us the slope is right there. So we're going to plug all of these into this formula, the slope formula. I'm going to call this I'm going to say this is x2, y2, x1, y1. Now the reason why I put this first one as my 2's is I want to make sure, I want to have my my r to be positive. And since r is my x2, that's going to go in this place. I don't want to have to do with a minus or a negative number in there, because I'll have to do an extra step in solving it. So let's plug in our numbers. Our slope, our m, is 3/4, equals my y2 is 4 minus the y1, which is 1, divided by x2, which is r, minus our x1, which is 7. So I'm going to do a little bit of simplifying here. So I got 3/4 equals 4 minus 1 is 3 over r minus 7. And now, just like we did earlier with solving proportions, we can use cross products. So I'm going to do 3 times r minus 7, which would be 3r minus 21 equals, cross multiply the other direction, 4 times 3 is 12. To get 3r by itself, I'm going to add 21. Now I got 3r equaling 33. Divide by 3 on both sides, and r would equal 11. Now another way of doing this one, if I rewrite what I had here, 3/4 equals 3 over r minus 7. If these are two fractions that are equal to each other, while 3 times 1 gives us 3, that means 4 times something has to equal r minus 7. So if I have 4 equals r minus 7, I would just have to get this r by itself by adding 7 to both sides, and I would have r equaling 11. That's just another way of doing it, but it's not always going to work that easily. So I usually typically go with the cross products method. So that is how you can find the slope of a linear line and then use the slope formula to find one of the coordinates of your ordered pairs that are found on the line.